Hi everyone, thanks for being here. I'm Kel from Working with Resonance, and this is the Energy Outlook for February 2026. February's key events include full moon in Leo on the 2nd, Uranus direct in Taurus on the 4th, Mercury moves into Pisces on the 7th, quickly followed by Venus moving into Pisces on the 10th. Saturn moves into Aries on the 14th. We have a new moon in Aquarius on the 17th. Saturn-Neptune conjunction peaks on the 21st. Mercury begins its retrograde motion in Pisces on the 26th. And then Mercury is conjunct Venus on the 28th. Please note all dates and times in this presentation are Australian Eastern Standard Time. Underlying February's key events is an interesting frequency sequence that is playing out consecutively through the energies of Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. The underpinning storylines and narratives of our communication, compassion, love, interpersonal interactions, our reality, humanity, fears, anxieties, identity, happiness, success, and sense of purpose are all surfacing for awareness, observation, deconstruction, and recalibration throughout February. Compounded by the activations coming through the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, this underlying frequency sequence provides an opportunity to proactively work with resonance to create a foundation of authenticity. The unfolding of this may feel choppy or chaotic. It may feel as though you no sooner take a breath than the next wave hits. Basic breathwork and regular silence and stillness practice will assist in navigating this turbulence. February arrives with a particular kind of clarity. It's not sharp and intellectual clarity of logic, but it's a deeper, slower clarity that comes from turning inward and listening to the truth beneath the surface. This month's energies and activations lead us into deep self-reflection. The focus of February can be summed up with the question, is the way I think, speak, and act a true expression of who I am at my essence? February is a mirror that shows us the gap between our inner truth and our outer expression, helping us recalibrate and realign as energetic beings. This is a month for noticing where our thoughts, words, and actions support our ideals and where they quietly sabotage them. It's a month for asking whether the way we show up in our relationships, friendships, and relationship with self reflects the person we are or the person we want to be, or if it's reflecting the person we've been told or taught to be, the role that we perform. Any stability coming from the direct motion of Uranus in Taurus is likely to be short-lived. Clarity about what is no longer sustainable is coming to the surface for awareness. Experiences of intense activation and agitation through the mind and mental body are likely as foundational beliefs, values, and morality are challenged, bringing insights into the expression of these through thoughts, words, and actions. Uranus direct in Taurus brings the question, is what I think, say, and do in every moment a true representation of my authenticity? The reevaluation of our thoughts, words, and actions continues as Mercury moves into Pisces. When viewed through the lens of essence and innermost dreams of how we want to be in life, does what you think, say, and do support those desired ideals, or does your behavior, thoughts, and communication sabotage them? As Venus ventures into Pisces, practicality does not give way to romantic illusion. Instead, Venus will be calling us out on the way we show up in our relationships, friendships, and with and for ourselves. Is the way you think, speak, and behave in your interactions with self and others a true representation of who you are, or is it a mask you wear or a role that you've learned to play? In the lead up to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, Saturn moving into Aries shines a light on our externally acquired shoulds and shouldn'ts and their resonance or dissonance with our authenticity. Our impulsivity is challenged. The resonance of our truth creates a pause between thought and action, giving us an opportunity to ask, what is the evidence of my own experience? And does this thought, word, or action support who I say I want to be? The peak of the current recalibration portal and the activation of our intellect versus wisdom journey, which will play out over the next 5 years, is with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Traditionally, this is where structure and reality meets dreams and illusions, and each side fights for dominance over the other. As the energies and activations of this frequency sequence unfold over the next 5 years, it will become clear that there is no separation between the two. There are no sides. Dreams, structure, reality, illusion, they're all one and the same. Right here, right now, however, we are simply asked to observe the initial revelation of fact as storyline and illusion as truth, and test it against the evidence of our own experience. Mercury retrograde in Pisces at the end of the month. The message is forget everything you think you know about Mercury retrogrades. This Mercury retrograde will not be playing by the rules. Guides are saying simply expect the unexpected. Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus has Venus holding steady in the frequencies of unconditional love as Mercury turns inward in self-reflection and recalibration. Interpersonal interactions are likely to be jolted out of complacency as communication spontaneously emerges from the soul rather than the script. Is this how you want to be showing up in your relationships? More importantly, is this how you want to show up for yourself? Some helpful journaling questions for this month include, are my thoughts, words, and actions aligned with my essence? Do they reflect who I truly am or who I've been conditioned to be? Where do my beliefs support my lived experience and where do they contradict it? What narratives am I still carrying that no longer match the evidence of my own experience? What do I want to keep? What needs recalibration? Where am I confusing fact with illusion? And what happens when I allow the possibility that the roles may be reversed? All of these questions don't have quick answers, so sit with them. February is not about arriving at certainty. It's about becoming honest with ourselves and recognizing where we've been living on autopilot. Some simple ways we can work with resonance throughout February include slow down, listen inward, notice the dissonance between who you are and who you express. Honor the truths that are emerging even if they contradict old facts. Allow your inner world to inform your outer expression. Choose alignment over habit. Choose authenticity over expectation. Choose truth, your truth, over inherited narratives. That's the outlook for February. Thank you for being here. If you would like more information, please follow the links in the description box below. Bye for now.